our forecast for year one turned out to be incorrect. I can say that now because we're 11 years in and obviously things have gone well enough. But at the time, when you bring metal into storage, your billing starts 3 months after that. Mm-hmm. And really you only see the benefit a year later. That sticky revenue that's going to be around for a while. And then you start building that mass of the scale that you need. So obviously you have a lot of upfront costs. We invested a fair amount of money to get the vault up and running. And I remember walking into it, Tarek, like the day that we started, and it was completely empty. We had no clients. We had no brand. We had an empty vault in the Cayman Islands. And for me, partly, scary experience in the sense of like, what if I fail? I'll let these guys down. Am I really good enough to do this? But the other part of me was like, my entrepreneurial side is like, this is the opportunity of a lifetime. Mm-hmm. Like for a kid who grew up, with a dad who's a teacher, mom's a secretary, not a business family, not a lot of money to go around. And it's like, here I am in the Cayman Islands, 35 years old, recently single. This is it. And I just poured myself into it.
And you start from the position of having a pretty big capital partner right out of the gate, which very few entrepreneurs really have. A lot of entrepreneurs start with trying to, scrape by with savings or raising money from, friends and family. But you have a capital partner who says, we're going to invest the money, we're going to build the building. And building the building is, that's the moat in the depository industry. That's what the big financial hurdle is. And there just aren't a lot of people that are willing to take the financial risk to do that. Yeah. So you have all of the ingredients in the kitchen, and now you just need to cook the pie.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And in retrospect, that was what differentiated this opportunity from many others, was that Shane and Stu, my partners, were willing to take that risk and then bring on, this kid from Canada to get the job done. And without that initial investment and that belief, now the good news is they knew Cayman really well. They mm-hmm. were both born and raised for, Shane had been there 40 years, Stu was born there. So they knew the market. They knew how to do business in Cayman. They knew the right people. And that gave us a leg up. But it's a scary feeling.
Yeah, you had, obviously, with your experience with Kitco, you knew some people in the industry, but, as you know from experience, and again, conferences like this, where the precious metals market is a very small market. I was talking to Ed yesterday, and, it's comprised of the bullion banks, and you have some refiners, and you have the depositories and the transport companies and the dealers, and, collectively, you're not talking about a lot of people that make all the decisions to move all of the metal around the world. And so when you launch a depository, the hardest thing is the credibility piece. How do I get comfortable with the people behind this operation? And for somebody to put their metal down there, they need to know that it's insured. Well, in order for it to be insured, everybody uses Lloyd's of London. Lloyd's of London has to get comfortable with your operation, the security, and the company and so forth. So there are just a lot of hurdles that you have to overcome before you even get to the marketing and you even get to the customers. ERP system, picking the right software management system to be able to bill and account for all of the metal and all the different SKUs. And, our industry, we don't have barcodes on products, because there's no packaging. So you're getting a gold bar in here, and now you got to hand type in serial numbers and cameras mm-hmm. and things of that nature. So yeah, walk through what was the biggest challenge in all of that.
You just named a few. You're bringing back memories. It's the biggest challenge that we faced as a young company starting. So we had the building. Credibility was huge. So in order to make a gold vault successful, whether it be back in 2014 or now, is you need liquidity. Ultimately, that's the difference between a safe deposit box operation or a business that is going to not only attract long-term storage, but also the trading aspect, which you know very well. You understand, right? So in order to create liquidity, we're a young company. We have limited resources at this point. We've just invested most of our capital in a building mm-hmm. that's empty. We needed a partner, so we had to go out and attract a wholesaler at that point who was willing to take a chance on us. And again, like you said, you're new to the industry, nobody knows who you are.